Hello and welcome to my channel Polyglot Reading. My name is Dave and today I'm doing a tag. This is a tag that was created by Gareth from the channel Books, Songs and Other Magic, and I was tagged by Lekden from the channel Reading from the Depth. Both channels which I'm subscribed to, great channels. If you don't know them yet, please take a look at them. I will leave the link in the description. The title of this tag, "Oh, the Places You Will Go," and I think this was inspired by a book from of Dr. Seuss. And this is a very special tag. The tag has a couple of mottos, and each of the mottos is followed by two prompts. One is a prompt on a bookish matter, and the second prompt, the question, is a live prompt. And I like this sort of tag very much. That is not just about showing as many books into the camera as possible, but this sort of tag where you also learn a little bit more about the booktuber, about their biography, their character, their life, and their background. And so I'm very happy that Gareth has created this tag and that Lekden has tagged me. So let's go through the tag prompts and mottos one by one. The first motto is which direction you choose. And the bookish prompt is, what's the first place you go to in a bookstore? Okay, this depends. In a regular bookstore, the first part I'll go is the sections or the shelves where they have the classics, because I love classics, and I think most of the books I read would fall into that category, and so I'm always curious to see what a bookstore has in stock in that area. And then the second department, or the second part of the bookstore, would be I'm looking for books in foreign languages. Here in Germany, most of the larger bookstores have at least a couple of books in English language, and the other languages depends on where you are. If you're in the southern part of Germany, for example, in southern Bavaria, Munich, some bookstores have Italian books, or if you're in the southwestern part, bookstores may have French books, so it depends. English books. So I love to go into secondhand bookstores and sort of antiquarian bookstores, and there I have different preferences. So in this sort of bookstore, I first go for the shelves with really the nice volumes with a nice binding, or a complete works editions, or that sort of book. And then I will go for the dark and dusty and chaotic places. So where these um, boxes with and piles of books are, so you can really go for a sort of treasure hunt and to find some literary gem in just a heap of books. So that would be the two places in an antiquarian bookstore, a secondhand bookstore. Okay, the life prompt. What is the biggest life decision you've made that has impacted your life? Yeah, a very easy one. So that would be my marriage. I married very early, very quickly. I met my wife when I was 21, and when we quickly became a couple. And then I think on the fifth day we decided, oh, that's it, we were going to marry. And then we had to postpone this by 1 year, because in order to enable our relatives and friends to recover from the shock. But then, yeah, I actually did it, married at age 22. And the best decision of my life, the decision with the biggest impact. So it's been more than 30 years by now, and I never ever regretted this decision, not even a single second. Okay, well, so okay, next motto is too smart to go down any not so good street. And the book prompt is, what did you used to read that you don't read anymore? Similar as Lekden, I think I can't really answer this question, because I'm extending. I think I'm always extending my radius and the type of books I'm reading. So I'm not reading children's book or young adult book anymore. So I used to read them when I was a child or when I was a young adult, but now these genres they don't mean anything to me now. So I don't read that anymore. So maybe that's an adequate answer to that prompt. Life prompt: what have you learned either as a hobby or in education that you value most? So I think what I value most is the training in critical thinking, that sort of critical thinking that you learn when you're doing when you're at university and studying something in the field of science. And this is what I did, and this sort of really looking very critical at everything. So what are the, if someone is trying to convince you of anything, so what are the basic assumptions here? Do they make sense? Are they plausible? So, and what methods have been used to gain a certain kind of information that claims to be really knowledge and proven knowledge? Are the methods adequate and sound? And are the conclusions really backed by the data or by the observations? And this is a sort of critical thinking that helps you to become an independent thinker that goes far beyond the field of science, so that you can apply this sort of critical systematic thinking to almost anything. And I think this is really has shaped very much the way that I think, that I am as a person, and my approach and attitudes to all kinds of topics and matters. And I think that's just, really, yeah, that I value this very, very much. Okay, the book prompt is: pick a book with an attractive cover. Okay, how much time do we have? I picked a couple of them. I love antiquarian books, and so I love very much this very simple old style cover. So just this a half leather binding with this also this leather edges, and very simple. But stylish. I think I love this sort of cover very much. But I also like very much what was invented a little bit. So I think it had its high time at the turn of the 19th to 20th century, this sort of gilt covers with gilt decorations, like this edition of Thomas Hardy. I like this very much. Also, this style at the beginning of the 20th century was a very popular style. I think it's called, in English, it's called probably Art Deco. In German, it would be Jugendstil, like this very much. A little bit later, in the 1920s, the sort of ornamental book cover design. So this is a nice edition of the major works of Władysław Remont, who was a Polish writer and Nobel Prize winner, and I think in 1923 or 24. And so that's a nice book cover, I think. And also it continues in this nice way also in the inside. And yeah, also more modern ones. I love the editions by the Franklin Library, the US publisher, and the Folio Society. And for example, this sort of retro style book cover. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. And I love this sort of cover decoration here. Or also from the Folio Society, this is a nice cover. Sheridan Le Fanu, Uncle Silas, also with this very, this is a very traditional way of decorating a book cover. Okay, and let's move on. More modern types. Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I love this cover decoration. I don't know whether it's possible to see all this glittering effects on the video. So it's as if there's a background of millions and zillions of stars. So this is a glittering, this a nice effect. And or Lewis Carroll, Alice Adventures in Wonderland, with this nice drawings on the cover, all characters picked from the story. Or finally, before you switch off the video, this is a nice edition of one of his sacred texts from the Indian continent, the Bhagavad Gita, and it has this nice cover, you know, with gold foil, and this image of a person with his many arms. I think this is probably an allusion to the Indian god Shiva, as is often presented with this couple of arms. Okay, yeah, a very nice extremely nice cover. Okay, moving on to the next motto. No, it's the same motto. You'll be seeing great sights, and that was pick a book with an attractive cover. And now the life prompt for this motto, you'll be seeing great sights, is what is the most beautiful place that you have visited? Um, it's difficult to pick one single place, but I think I would pick a country because this has a high density of great places, and I would pick the European country of Slovenia. It is a very small country, yeah, but it's beautiful. It's one of my favorite places to go because it's so small, but it is all the types of landscapes yet that you can see all across Europe. It's all condensed in a very small country. You have the Mediterranean coast, you have mountains like the Alps with more than 2,500 meters above sea level, and you have a sort of a sort of lowland with the karst region where there are a lot of great caves to visit. So it's a great place, and I spent. I was there in this country a couple of times, traveling around the country on bike. I love biking in this landscape because it's not so densely populated. So most of the beautiful places you're alone there, and the highlight in this country is the river Socha and its valley. It's an emerald green river embedded in this white limestone landscape, and this contrast of this white limestone and this emerald green river, that's absolutely great, fascinating. I love this place. I would like to go there every year. Okay, moving on to the next motto. You'll be best of the best. The book prompt is, what do you feel confident that you know a lot about with regard to books? Yeah, I know a little bit about classics of the according to the Western canon. So classics of the European, North American, and also a little bit of the Russian literature. I know, and I think this is and so in the literature, the history of the literature of these parts of the world. I'm less familiar with the literature of the South American continent and with Asian literature. But in these classics of the so-called Western or Northwestern world, including parts of the Russian literature, I think would feel. I think I know quite a bit about this topic. And the live prompt is, what would be your specialist subject on Mastermind? I think this refers to the BBC quiz show Mastermind. So I'm not familiar with the labels, official labels of the categories there, but I think um, something in the field of science would be my favorite or my best specialist topic, because this is what my professional background. So I studied something in the field of science. I did my PhD in the natural sciences, and I worked as a research scientist for more than 20 years. So I think that's, yeah, I would feel most comfortable as a with this as my specialist subject. Okay, next motto is, accept when you don't. Um, Book prompt is, what kinds of books do you feel that you don't relate to? Hmm. Yeah, apart from this young adult literature and children's literature, I think if we're talking about literature for adults, there's a certain type of or genre of books that I can't stand, and this is a certain genre of religious literature, and this sort of very missionary, devotional Christian literature with a clearly missionary approach, and from a very fundamentalist evangelical perspective, and sometimes even dressed into the disguise of fiction literature. But you see, this fundamentalist evangelical simplistic theological worldview in the background behind what is on the stage and dressed up as fiction. I can't stand this. But please don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-religious at all. On the contrary, I think a certain kind of personal spirituality is very important to me, and I'm very interested in Christianity and Christian theology, and also theological traditions beyond in other world religions. But I can't really stand this. I'm highly interested in also in really theological textbooks, but I can't stand this sort of simplistic fundamentalist type of literature. That's I can't relate to that, or I can't stand it. The life prompt. What is something you've stopped doing or that you have given up on? Complicated story. So cut it a long story short. I've stopped working as a scientist. I worked as a scientist for I think about 25 years, and I've been successful in it. And I climbed the career ladder, and I have been head of a research institute. And at the end, but then it turned out to become um, too stressful to me. It didn't feel right anymore, and I began to develop some mental health issues. And then that reached the point where, okay, as a family, my wife said, okay, check our financial situation, and I really checked myself. So yeah, does this really still satisfy me? Do I want what do I want to do with the rest of my life? Do I want to continue with this specific job, which is endangering my mental health? And I said, no, I will do something completely different. And I'm simplifying this a lot right now because this is very personal part of story, but I turned to stop. I'm not working in that field anymore, and it's something very probably crazy from the outside, but I enrolled as a student at university again after all these years, and now I'm doing my studies in the field of humanities with a focus on literature, history, and philosophy, and I enjoy every single minute of it. Okay, next motto is the waiting place. The book prompt is name a book that you're excited to read that's on your TBR. Okay, I'm excited to start reading James Joyce's Ulysses, and I think this is not a surprise to those of you who follow my channel. I am in June. I'm going to start a long-term, close reading project of James Joyce's Ulysses. That will be a project of about 1 year, and I've started to do some preparatory videos on my channel where I take a look at some books that you should have read before you read the Ulysses. So, for example, the Odyssey and parts of the Bible and Shakespeare, a bit of Shakespeare and so on. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading Ulysses. And life prompt: what in general are you looking forward to the most this year? Yeah, I'm looking forward to my vacation that is coming up in early May. Um, I will cross the Italian island of Sicily with my mountain bike. So I will start in the very west, and then I will take 2 weeks of crossing the island from west to east with my mountain bike. I will do this alone, just me, my bike, and nature, and I'll do that sort of vacation uh, at least once a year, and that's was a real highlight of my year. And I'm very much looking forward to this vacation. Um, Balancing act is a sort of a bonus question. Talk about balancing your time between the general life and putting out content on BookTube. Yeah. In the beginning, when I started this BookTube channel, I thought that consistency would be one of the major challenges for me to really to upload content in a more or less regular way. But still, to me, this seems to be quite manageable. I have told you about the big life change that I made, so what I have a more relaxed schedule now, so I don't really have difficulties with creating content. I also, in order to protect myself from any mental health issues, I decided not to stick to any fixed upload schedule. You see a lot of this video content of advisors. If you want to grow your channel, you have to stick very to a very fixed schedule and put up videos we have to stick to it, never miss a single upload. No, I'm sorry, I am not taking this for serious. I don't care. So this is not an economic enterprise here. This is just a hobby project, a fun project. I don't care whether I'm doing it. I'm optimizing the way I'm attracting viewers, and so I'll upload a video whenever I'm ready for it. And so there's no pressure at all, and also no challenge to balance this with my other life affairs. Other thing, family and friends have always preference. About it's always more important than doing a booktube video. Okay, so that's it. Thanks a lot to Lekden and to Gareth for developing this interesting tag and for tagging me. I'm terribly behind with my response video to this tag, so I'm not going to tag many people. I might tag a few. I list them in the box. I would like to do something unusual. I would like to tag 2 German booktubers, both which I very much. Two of my favorite channels, and I know that both of them sometimes also watch my English language videos, and I think also both of them appreciate that sort of tag where you're not just talking about books, but where you can learn something about the booktuber, his or her biography and character and personal life. And so I think that Thomas, who is the host of the channel Schundleser, and Natasha from Books and Poets would probably be willing to do this tag. So please, Thomas and Natasha, if you watch this, you're tagged. It would be great to have a German reply video from your side on this. I would love to see this tag also spill over into the German niche of booktube. Okay, having said that, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great reading time. Take care. Bye bye and ciao.